Literally, I just woke up. What? I'm so tired. I must have really needed some sleeps. By the rain, okay, so I had I'm going to wait until some people come in because I want to share this with people. This was a very interesting watching that I watched yesterday. You understand? A watching, because that's what we're here to do, right? We're here to watch. Hello, Corey, my friend. I'm so happy to have caught a live of yours, right? Hey, Manya! So I just woke up. I was tired. So Michael had surgery yesterday. Oh my God, what a long day. 8-hour surgery that they thought was going to take 3 to 5-ish hours. And then it took him 6 hours, if that, because barely when I seen him at 9:30 last night, right? He was hardly even coherent. What he was in a lot of pain, you dig? So, but okay, so I get home, right? Because you guys know that I smoke, right? Like I smoke weed. So they obviously didn't smoke all day because I'm waiting for my husband. I'm waiting. And so I walk home and I'm smoking a joint on the way home, right? And so I stop. There's this little, I'm going to show you, like a courtyard thing. See, right down there, the water. Okay. And so on the way to the hospital, finally, when I got to go see my husband at 9 o'clock, on the way down, I ran into this guy who's been here for like a month and a half. And so anyways, when I came back, I'm sitting out there and I'm like, wow, just looking around. And I'm like, I'm in the city. Crazy. Because I've never really been in the city too much, right? Especially this big of a city. This is a big city. And so I was sitting down there and I was doing some breathing and some, just some energy work. And I'm just, in my head, I'm thinking, oh my God, these people are staring at you. Stop it. They are staring at you. And the voice in my head, right? My God self is like, girl, stop. This is where you are supposed to be. Just do it. So I'm doing it. And then that guy comes out, right? And we start talking. Right before the guy came out, I was on the other side of the half circle where the long part is. And there was a couple walking by and I was walking this way and they were walking this way. And they didn't even make eye contact with me. And I love eye contact because then I get to say hello. Right? And so I was like, hi. And they were like, hi. And I kept walking. But I've noticed that in the big city, like, my energy is bright, right? I mean, obviously. I mean, it's not even closed, though. It's like and so then the guy came out and I started talking to him. And then about 5 minutes later, another guy shows up, right? And he bums the smoke off of the guy, right? Cigarette smoke. But whatever, do you. And the nice guy that I talked to earlier, the first guy, was smoking a vape, like a marijuana vape. And I asked him, hi guys, I love you guys. Yay. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to head up there soon, Corey. I'm going to head up there soon. I slept in. And I'll read the previous comments too. Hold on one second. And so I asked him, and then I noticed a couple, a girl and a boy came out, and they were smoking from the vape pens too. But they're like coughing like crazy. And I'm wondering, and I asked them, I'm like, why do you guys smoke those things? Because clearly your body is like, this isn't real weed. You know what I mean? I said, why don't you just smoke herb, man? I don't get it. Well, this is easier and it's discreet and nobody knows if it's a vape. You can do it anywhere you want. Da, da, da. I'm like, yeah, but you're killing yourself, right? Anyways, neither here nor there. And so we're talking about just life in general, right? And then another guy comes out and so the guy who came up to bum a cigarette is from Russia. The first guy is from here, so I'm from here. And then another guy comes out who's from Scotland, right? And we're all talking, and we're talking about how the world is in disarray and how the leaders are just like, what the fudge is going on? And and we were talking about how it's the programming, right? The zeros and ones, like you said, that's the programming. It's the same thing. It's just a little deeper, right, Corey? And I said, I know people don't really want this anarchy behavior that we're showing out to everybody. Like a few little people are doing these energies of anger and hatred. There's not many, you guys. A lot of people are actually lovers for real. And that's what I was talking to about these guys, right? Because man, stop it. We are lovers. Humanity, humans, we are made for community actions together. So us being pit on each other, like if I was a different person, I wouldn't even have talked to any of those people. I would just sat in my bubble, like the couple did. There was a male and a female, and they just sat in their bubble the whole time. Hi, TMC. I haven't seen you for a while. And Irby. But I just thought it was so refreshing to have this communication with a Scotland male, a Russian male, and a Washington male, an American male, right? Now, I could see the programming in each of them. The Russian one was a little savvy to who I was. I could tell he kept looking over at me like, but maybe he wasn't too. Maybe he was super programmed and was thinking, inappropriate thoughts. Who knows? I don't know these things. I'm super friendly. But so that communication was super duper fun. Okay. Then another character comes up. Now this character is a little different. This character has like jail scrubs on. Okay. And has a big scar on the side of his head and looks like you would not talk to him and you would go to the other side of the road, right? A lot of people, especially old money people, the ones I'm talking about. Yeah. And so he came over and he was like looking in the cigarette butts and he looked up at us and I smiled and he goes, "You guys have a cigarette?" I said, "I don't." And the guy from Scotland did, but he said he didn't. Interesting. The guy from Washington did and said, "I don't care, take one." And I said, "Okay." So I gave him a cigarette out of that guy's pack. And the guy sat like equivalent to like over there by the kitchen thing, right? And so he didn't talk to us. Matter of fact, he was doing this, this thing, how, yeah, I know you know. I know you know. I'm like, wait a minute, stand up. What are you doing? It's the drugs? That's weird. But not like weird like I hate you, like weird like come on, there's a different way. And so so my spirit says, get up on the roundabout thing around the water, right? Those bricks. You see the bricks down there? The bricks down there. Where's my finger? The bricks, right? That. And so I got down there, I took off my shoes and I started walking around on it, like playing like a kid. And every time I walk by him, he looks up, right? Well, the last time that I walked by him, he looked up, he said, "Be careful, don't fall." I said, "Thank you." I said, "But if I do fall, all I'm going to do is get wet. And all I'm going to do is be cold." But yes. And then we started talking, right? Actually a very cool guy. I think he was very surprised that I was speaking to him, number one. I introduced myself, right? What was it? Yeah, so we were sitting there, we were talking and whatever, and he said he's from Texas, his name is Devin, all these things. And that verse, Corey, it's funny that you said it in your live too, that verse about how, remember when Peter, I think it was Peter, was going into the synagogue, maybe it was John, but I think it was Peter, was going into like the church with a friend, and they were like, there was some poor people or whatever, lesser means people out on the road. And he said, "How can I just say, 'My love is with you, be well'?" You know what I mean? Without giving them the clothes, the food. And I'm thinking, hot damn, I should bring this guy to go get some clothes so he's not in his jail uniform. Like, what is even going on? That's crazy messed up. Could you imagine being in a different state, probably mentally, and be stuck in scrubs from the jail? And they were like dirty. And I asked him, I was like, "Oh, can I read what's on your back?" Because I noticed when he came up that there was writing on the back. He's a guitarist, like an epic guitarist, he says, and I'm ready. I'm wanting to work. Like, you know what he tells me when we're talking? He says, "Alls I wish is if people would start being who they really are." I said, "Wow." I said, "That's what I wish too, my friend." I said, everybody just walks around and they're just pretending to be something else. And he's like, why? I said, I have freaking no idea. Maybe they're scared. I don't know. Maybe they're fearful of that, who they are. They're goofy. I'm talking to everybody. Maybe their goofy self isn't correct to them, to their programming, right? So now this is a very interesting part too. Okay, I'm an energy healer, right? I give Reiki, which is just God source energy, just through, okay? Because I'm a clearer vessel, not in a judgment way either, because it's all good. And so we're talking, and then I was like, well, oh, and he said when he said something about, I want everybody just to be authentic, I was like, me too, high five. And we high-fived, okay? Right? Okay. So then we continued talking for a couple minutes. Okay. And then when I was like, okay, well, I'm going to head up. It was midnight. Like, I'm going to head up now. And he was like, okay. And I said, it was very nice to meet you. And he said, oh, after we high-fived, we sat for a decent minute, that awkward silent thing. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to go. And then I was like, all right, it was really nice meeting you. And I put my hand out to shake his hand, right? He didn't want to shake my hand, although he shook my hand in the beginning. So he shook my hand as introducing Lindsey and Dustin. Then we high-fived, which I think was the key one, right? And before I even seen him, I was doing my push-out energy exercise that I just learned, where you hyperextend your wrist and you just feel that energy just pulsing from your hand, and you just clear it out. And I did that. And so after the hand clap, he was like, not really talking. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go in, offer my hand a handshake. He was like, no, my hands are really dirty. They got cigarettes on them and stuff, and I don't want to give it to you. And I was like, okay, friend. And so we did an elbow bump, right? When I didn't think anything of it. When I came upstairs, I was like, oh, I should wash my hands. Not because of him, but because I just got back from the hospital, right? I'm a notorious hand washer. So I'm washing my hands like normal. And then I go to rinse them and stop. Major guck right here. And how I can know as being an energy healer is it's slimy. It's slimy. I'm not kidding. These are not jokes. This is real stuff. And when I was sitting there washing my hands, I was like, okay, stop it. Like, you see this. This is a physical thing. You're feeling it. You're hearing it. You're doing it. You're being. It's real. Stop walking around like, oh, maybe this is happening. Oh, maybe you're Christ consciousness. Oh, maybe you're here. Maybe. No, you are, and we are, and you are too, Corey. All of us are a piece of the grand tapestry of life, and we came here to unite the pieces back together. Okay? And so I'm washing my hands. I washed my hands like 6 times, and I couldn't get it off. And I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? Excuse my language. What the fuck am I going to do? And I did it again. What am I going to do? And so I'm like scrubbing. And I was like, oh, okay, this is some bull crap. I said, well, use your powers. Like, you have powers. Let's do it. And so I use my mind, and I push, and I breathe. Push. And I pushed it out, and I did it on both sides. And I washed my hands clean. I said, stop it. Oh, my gosh. It just, the plot thickens. Yeah. Right. And so I'm thinking, because people walk around in their temples with mighty things weighing on them. And I don't care what anybody says. Those mighty things, they are demonic. Even if they're not like what we have been taught is demonic, right? Right? Like me sitting here thinking, oh, I should eat those chips I got. No, it's midnight. Go to bed. That's demonic. And I'm like, bing, right? But sometimes I give in. And he's like, yeah. Or it is like, yeah. So I just thought it was really interesting that being in the presence of those males, it doesn't even matter that they're males, humans, my energetic field as a 1 saw that they were zeros, not that 0 is anything. And Corey, can I ask you something? Are you sure it's 1 and 0 is the lack? Because to me, I feel like 0 is the fullness and 1 is the lack. I don't know, though. I just look at things different. So, and really doesn't matter. I guess it doesn't really matter either. But my energetic field can morph their something into something else. That's what I'm a transmuter of energy. It's what I do. It's what I came here to this planet to do. Anyways, I'm going to read the comments now, and then I'm going to get going here in a minute. Of course, I remember UTMC. Hi, Karmook. How's it going? Fun fact for girls, we guys don't scratch when our balls are itchy. We pinch and roll. Oh, fun fact for men, so do women. Pinch and roll is way better than a scratch because that's our tender biddles. You don't want to scratch that. You tear the skin in that bad boy. That hurt. Let's see. What's TBI, Corey? I say on gender. Do you have any theme in mind I can use? Oh, well, it depends on what kind of essay. You know what I mean? Like, what are you supposed to include in your essay? And I'm doing very well. It's a great day, another great day. I think I might be a little bit tired still, but it'll buff out in the end. Anarchy is necessary for order to truly arise from the ashes. 100%, Corey, I believe it's anarchy from the system. Yeah, it's the Phoenix Rising. Now, another cool thing that I'd like to point out from that communication with those guys, they were telling me this horrendous stuff. Like this guy walked down the road and seen this naked guy just standing there across the road. There was a transgender person who was a male but had breasts and had their shirt open with their titties showing. And I was like, bros, what? I've not even seen any of this. Like, what are you even talking about? And I don't consent to their story either. And then it dawned on me, I live on a different frequency level than them. I will not see that. I will not see that because it doesn't fulfill the algorithm for me to see it because I trump their algorithm because I am the light. The light always trumps everything. How can anybody else explain this? You know what I mean? Like they were all three of them, because when one starts talking about the darkness, they'll all chirp in. Right? And they were just telling stories and telling stories and telling stories. I'm not even going to tell the stories that they were telling, but it was horrible. And I was like, well, I don't consent to that. And I don't consent to that. And I don't consent to that. But I didn't see any of it. You dig? They did. I thought that was quite confirming for I, a person of God. Yeah, it'll naturally fall apart. Oh, right, Corey. It'll naturally fall apart to the extent that we really don't even need to do anything, you know? I used to be dressed in a white jumpsuit for 6 years. Oh, well, it's interesting, Corey, right? But don't you just want to be seen as the human that you are? Not by the shite that you've done. That's not how Jesus sees us. That's not how Allah sees us. That's not how Buddha sees us. That's not how God sees us. That's not how Creator sees us. Not how Mighty Spirit sees us. It's not how, fill in the blank, it doesn't matter. They don't see us in our owies. They see us in our glory, for that is what we are. But the programming, the sophist, the algorithm teaches us that we're something else. Simply start saying, I do not consent. Seriously. But then I think too, what if I do not consent is only relevant in Lindsay's existence? I don't know. Let's see. I came about 8 months ago and told a lot of people that God gave me a vision and the government's coming out and saying that aliens are real in the next 3 months, and they thought I was crazy. Yeah, but you're not, right, Corey? And you know that. Oh my gosh, you had a traumatic brain injury? That's harsh. Yes, only the real ones. What's up, Tempest? There's no fairy tale that I'm living in, though. I'm living in this existence. This existence I am. Do you understand? Hi, Bobby. It's a long time I haven't seen you. How's it going? I came here to break this matrix, y'all. And so did you. And you will remember that when you remember who you are. Yeah. Okay, my friends. So much love. I'm off to see my husband. Enjoy your moments. I'll probably make a live again later. Or maybe I should take you guys with me. Probably won't have good service, so maybe I won't. Anywho, I'm off to the big city. Okay? Much love, and I love you. It's great and working for people. And yay, Bobby, cool. Okay, I'll hold on. Hey, hold on. Hey, wait, there's more. Hello, Veem. My chapstick is in my bag. My chapstick is in my bag, I think I'm going to go down to the car because I think I want... Because I think... I'm going to put you right here. Hopefully I can find a smoothie. I'd really like a smoothie right now. A nice, healthy smoothie. Ugh. I put on deodorant because I was like, nobody wants to be stinky. But then when I put on deodorant, it makes me sweat. Like, what is that even? Why would it do that? That don't make no sense. Oh, I was getting chapstick. Hee squirrel, hee squirrel. And why I didn't bring way more fruit? Why did I only bring Why did I only bring bananas? Is beyond me. Especially when I have tons of fruit at home that I just bought for Jack before we left. Lindsay's a funny girl. Lindsay's an extremely funny character, I've noticed. I like Lindsay. She's pretty cool. Okay. All right, then. I love you guys. See you later. Have so much fun.